A very good day to everyone. We are honored to have Mr. Vinod John, an alumnus of Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, NMAM Institute of Technology, from the batch of 1999 with us here today. Sir is working at Mirafta Technologies as Vice President Hardware Engineering and also has had an 18 years of experience in Karmic Design Private Limited. I'm Ganashri KU, and on behalf of our department, feel privileged to interview our distinguished guest. We are so honored to have you here, sir.
Thank you very much.
So, firstly, I would like to ask, how does it feel being back to your campus, and what was your experience being a student at NMAM Institute of Technology?
Being back here like after 24 years, it has been very nostalgic. I'm trying to see every nook and corner that I've roamed in this campus. So it is very special. My experience here, I was here 1995 to 99, right? I would say that was the glorious times. Learning and a lot of friends. Best of my times.
And what are the changes you find in the campus compared to when you pursued your engineering?
Infrastructure has changed drastically, I feel. The number of buildings that was there was very limited. Just that administrative block and the labs. But I see there's not a lot of new development that has happened.
Yes.
That is a welcome change.
So, with your vast experience, I would like to ask, with respect to growth and learning perspective, how does knowledge in hardware engineering help new engineers, and what are the opportunities for us in this field?
With respect to hardware engineering, I think if you look at today, the avenues that your students have for learning by yourself, it is vast. It is huge. Opportunities is like unlimited. But I guess the students and the faculty equally, they need to have both sides. They need to have the enthusiasm to learn new. Though there are avenues, there are opportunities, but unless there is the interest or even some level of upskilling, there's nothing. Even if there's opportunity, there's no use. So there have to be enough support from the faculty and the college, and then we can see improvements.
Thank you for insights, sir. Which subject do you believe that we students should give weightage to, sir?
It's difficult to say that this is good or that is bad, because it's a package. Anywhere if you see, it's a package. I am in a chip design industry where it is majorly into microelectronics. So even if you look at microelectronics, there is a spread of individual topics. So for you guys, for students, I would say basics need to be absolutely strong. And whichever subject that interests you, right, go deep. So if you're best in one subject, that is good enough. So understand basic electronics. And now I would say you definitely need to focus on the digital side of it as well. Digital design, Verilog, system Verilog, all those are also much in demand. I can say that those are the skills which will land you in the jobs. And one thing that is common everywhere that is required is some level of scripting. Let that be C, C++ or Python. Some level of scripting that is expected everywhere, because in any job you do, right, automation is expected. So even to improve your productivity, you need to write some scripts to improve it. So that is some focus I expect.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Are there any specific topics for the semiconductor industry in general?
Semiconductors, we have VLSI as a subject. But how many of the people that are really interested? Studying as a subject, finishing in a semester, and actually studying little more, adding, looking at YouTube videos and learning little more. So pursuing something as a career, right? So that homework has to be done by individual.
Awesome.
There's some level of things that you can get from books or by lecturers, right? End of the day, your hard work has to come in.
Yes.
That's how can help you.
Adding on to the same question, sir, are there any specific tools or skill set that a student should possess?
Tools and skill sets, I think now the colleges have EDA tools, right? Cadence is there, mental graphics or something. I think most of the colleges are working with these EDA tools now.
No.
So making best use of it. Like I was talking to the principal and he said there's so many licenses.
Yes.
So that needs to be utilized. So to be utilizing that, there should be somebody who knows about that tool. So there has to be some faculty who gets the training on those tools, so they can impart the same to the students. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. And what factor fascinated you to get into hardware engineering, and what kept your interest in it, sir?
It was not as a plan. I mean, I had taken electrical and electronics subjects, right? So back in 99, I mean, we did not have so much of awareness on this domain as such. But I would say, I mean, I'm thankful to our Professor Rajalakshmi Samal Madam. Actually, she was the one who actually pushed us into this domain. And this was an upcoming field. And it was new. I mean, it was definitely challenging. We did not know much about this. So the little bit what we could understand is only by talking to lecturers on this field. So mainly I would say I took it as a challenge to learn something new, because going away from the regular streams, right? I thought this definitely will have a scope in the years to come. So I think I'm happy that I took that decision.
Still, that sounds interesting. So, how should a young engineering aspirant prepare to get into the hardware field?
It all boils down to your hard work. Hardware, see, you guys are engineering students, right? So you are expected to learn engineering. Okay, there could be so many deviations or distractions, and there could be something easier fields that you can pursue. So there's a reason why you have reached here, right? Definitely you are knowledgeable enough to be engineers in this particular domain. So first thing that you need to do definitely is give your 100% and understand whatever you're learning. Okay, there could be a time later in your career that you might think that you might want to do something else. That is for the later part. But now the focus still has to be the particular domain that you have chosen.
Yes.
Make sure whatever you do, right, know 100%. For example, you have labs. I mean, I talk to the faculty here. Like, for example, you have regular labs that goes on, right? Don't take it as an assignment to finish. I mean, you have a set of experiment that has to be done, right? So we know this is the inputs to be given, this is the outputs to be taken. I mean, that is a common mindset of all students that I understand. But what I say is, you need to have enough understanding when you come out of the regular lab. I'm not talking about the final semester exams or labs. So this is the learning that can happen. I mean, you finish one experiment, right? You need to know completely about that experiment. So that is the only way you can learn. So back in our times, I mean, we had this Viva for the lab exams was asked only during the final exams. So that is the only time we learn about the experiments, right? So this has to happen during the regular labs. I mean, it is not easy. I mean, the lecturers are limited with respect to time to spend enough time on questions to ask, right? But still, I mean, that practice has to come. Then they will be learning.
Thanks, sir. Thanks for the insights, sir. And what is the future of semiconductor industries?
We see that it is booming, right? We see chip design industry is growing and it is supported everywhere. Now you see there's a lot of investment that's happening even in India. So we can say that it is just an upscale. And we see how everybody is aware of these cell phones, right? How we see that it is becoming obsolete in few months. And we need new features, we need additional features, improvements. So, you know, a few years back, we would not have thought of zooming the screen just with our fingers, right? So, these things, technology goes on improving. So, naturally, the growth, it is directly from the customer expectations, what they expect. So, I see it's definitely booming and continuing.
Thanks for the perspective, sir. Sir, lastly, I would like to ask, how did NMA Institute of Technology help you reach the high position you are at?
High position, I mean, position is not something that we need to be proud about. A designation or position, I mean, it doesn't matter much. End of the day, your work, right? Hard work matters. So, giving your 100%, I mean, I said you have to give your commitment to whatever you do. So, as long as you are utilizing whatever you have learned, right? You're putting into right practice. So, naturally, you'll be scaling your heights. You'll be moving to levels and levels. I mean, for example, I was a normal trainee when I went through campus interview to Karmic Design Center. So we gave our 100% to learn,
Right.
And then maybe moved to other roles on technical fields. Then I moved to team lead, then into project management, then managing a big engineering team. So now at Mirafra, I'm handling the entire analog and mixed signal domain. So it's like a progress. I mean, I would not say it's like a designation. It is the knowledge that you have accumulated over years. So yeah, definitely NITE is the place, right? I mean, it's the place which actually created me, I would say. Thankful to that. And nice to see that some of the faculty are still around, and it's really inspirational as continue.
Thank you so much for your advice and your valuable time, sir.
Thank you so much.
It was my pleasure to do this interview.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.